kept driving down the highway and saw this old little white church that was there on the spot where the Mount Rush Hour now is. It was called the Greater Come As You Are Missionary Baptist Church. It was totally defunct. It had gotten drowned in one of the floods of 6 or 7 years ago. Allison, I think it was. So it was not functioning as a church, and it was in very bad shape. So I bought the property, took the church down, and it was purchased for exactly doing what's there now. The idea of 4 big heads representing 4 statesmen. The real title of it is A Tribute to American Statesmanship. Mount Rush Hour is the obvious nickname for it because 4 big heads where the traffic gets stuck in the mornings going into downtown. The message is that in the current world of American politics, politicians have gotten out of hand. I mean, it's all of them seem to be so self-oriented that the idea of doing something, first of all, for your country before elevating your own political career is rare. In the old days, it was not rare at all. George Washington was not a politician. He was drafted practically to be the first president of the United States. And he set the precedent for being called a president. They were going to call him His Majesty, a king, and all the rest. So it was his administration that set the style of what the presidency should be. Lincoln was a politician, but a statesman more than a politician. He saved the nation when the nation was splitting in two in the Civil War. He's the one that came along and saw the vision that if without the Civil War it would have split and it would never be the same again. Sam Houston was a soldier, first of all, then later a politician, but most of all a statesman. And I differentiate between a politician and a statesman. A statesman is a person in governance who cares more about his country than his own political career. And a politician is one that deals in governance that is making all the right political moves to stay in power. That's pretty obvious. So this is a tribute to the statesman, not the politician. So that's what that's all about. Stephen F. Austin was basically not a politician, and he wasn't exactly a statesman, but he ended up being one. He is the one that made the colonization of Texas actually happen. And he had big battles with Mexico. He had to swear to be a Mexican national and a Catholic also. All the early Texas colonists had to be Mexican citizens. This was Mexico. And then Sam Houston came along and saw the unrest, and others, he wasn't the only one, but lots of the colonists from Virginia and Tennessee and Georgia and whatnot didn't really want to be Mexican citizens because the Mexican government was so far away. It was in Mexico City, which is a 2-week horseback ride away. So they, being so remote from the central government, decided to make their own government. So that's what the Texas independence was all about in the Battle of San Jacinto. And that was, of course, Sam Houston that was basically made the hero of the Battle of San Jacinto. So that's the reason I picked those 4 guys. 2 Texans, 2 national heroes. The bodies are lifted onto a flatbed truck, and the heads with that base that's holding them up on the same flatbed truck. Then those are transported down to the site and offloaded with a crane. First, the bases on the ground. The concrete bases are already there first. The first thing we do is take the bases over, the 4 bases, put them where they're supposed to be. That took half a day. Then the rest of the day, we bring the bodies over and put them on top of the bases, and then the heads following to go on each shoulder. Yeah, okay. I mean, nothing is ever smooth, but as good as we can get. These 3 are okay. The 4th one is about 8 inches too low because of the slope. So we got a lot of much more concrete blocks coming. 16 of them, in fact. So we'll raise that up 8 inches, and that's it. But before they come, Tree wants to go ahead and put the bodies up and the heads up, and we'll do that one last. That's Stephen F. Austin. We'll leave him to the last to adjust his height. So. Chewy is my right arm. He is the foreman, and his crew are all from the same town in Mexico. So some of them are even relatives of him. So he's the foreman that organizes them. There's two Chewies. We have little Chewy, the foreman. We have big Chewy, who's the welder and a great worker, very artistic. So Chewy, I'm the designer. I write the checks every Friday. I do all the art part of it. I do all the conceptualizing of it. But Chewy and his crew render the stuff. I'm not even a welder. I don't weld. So I could never have done these as a one-man show, never ever. So I've always had crews working for me on big projects, have to. Onward and upward with the arts. That's all I can say.
weather was wrong, but everything else was right. It all happened, in spite of the weather.
The impression that people get going through Houston, especially on I-10, which is the major freeway which connects California with Florida, the impression they get of Houston, first of all, is the beautiful skyline, very impressive, one of the most impressive in the country. But that's broken up with billboards and a lot of other junk. And so to have a piece of sculpture or two or three, I'd like to have several, on I-10, to give the impression that there's also art to go along with the beautiful skyline. We're not just a city of billboards and that skyline. That's one of the considerations. Of course, I've been working for years to try to prove that art as an icon for a traveling public gives a new impression to the place where it is. The Sam Houston in Huntsville, I think, has proven that. Because driving through Huntsville is just, you can't tell it from other towns if you don't know it. But with the statue there, that makes Huntsville what it is. It used to be a prison town, now it's a statue town. And that was, that's the concept I've been trying to prove for a long, long time, that art as an icon is important to a locale.